welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing my top 14 books of 2014, and these are all the books I read in 2014 that I really liked, not ones that came out in 14. Let's get started. And these aren't in any particular order from most favorite to least favorite, they are in order of stackability. The first book on my pile is A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin. This is the fourth book in the series A Song of Ice and Fire. If you watched my other videos, you'll know that I read this. It took me a year to read it, and the middle part I did not like as much. And this wasn't my favorite book from the whole series, but it was one of my top favorite books of 2014. The beginning and the end were spectacular, and there's only like a little chunk in the middle that just stalled me. But I really enjoyed this one, and if you haven't read the series yet, you should really pick it up. The next book in my pile is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. And Howl's Moving Castle by Hayao Miyazaki is one of my favorite films, and this is where he got to the inspiration from. The book and the movie are quite a lot different, but the book is still really good, really funny, very entertaining, and I just love Sophie and Howl. I'm pretty sure this is a kid's book, but that's fine. It was still awesome. The next book I have in my pile is The Hobbit by Tolkien, and I've read this book a few times now, and it is by far like top 2 favorite books, and I love this one so much. I just watched the last part of The Hobbit last week, and I really did enjoy it. So I think I'm going to read this book again very soon. For those of you who don't know, this book is about Bilbo Baggins, and he goes on an adventure with some dwarves to reclaim a mountain from a dragon. So yes, this is a very fun book, and I would recommend reading it, definitely recommend. And I'm pretty sure I read this book in like elementary school. It was like one of our required reading. The fourth book on my pile is one I recently just read, and it is The Winters Cur by Mary Rutkotsky. This one really surprised me, and I'm really excited for the second book, and since I can't get it out of my head, I figured it should be in my top 14 of 2014. So I really enjoyed this one, and I would recommend it if you like YA stories. I have talked about this book a ton on my channel, so if you want to read my review of it and listen to it, I just put up a short review of this one a few days ago, so check that one out. And then I also wrote a review on my blog, so you can check that out as well. My fifth and sixth book are part of a series, so I have Angel Fall and World After, and these books are amazing. They are by Suzanne E. And apparently this was going to be like a 6-book series, but now it's just a trilogy, and I'm looking forward to the third book whenever it finally comes out. I have no idea when it's coming out, but when it does, I'm gonna buy it. And these ones are dystopian, and there's angels in them, and it's very epic. There's a lot of battles, and it's very interesting. Some parts are kind of gory and graphic, but I really enjoy these books. I would definitely recommend them. My 7th book is a new adult book, and it is A Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I love this book. It was the first new adult book I read, so it holds a place in my heart for that. And this one is very interesting, and it really pulls at your heart and what you think is right in this one. You'll know after you read it what I mean. So this one is about a girl called Sydney, and she is 22. She lives with her best friend, and she finds out that her best friend and her boyfriend are going behind her back, and they have an intimate relationship. She moves up and breaks up with her boyfriend. So it's about her starting a new relationship with someone else and the struggles of that, and it is very good. If you like new adult, I'd read this one, and Colleen Hoover writes really good books. So the 8th book I have is the first book of like my favorite trilogy, one of my favorite trilogies, and it is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. I love this trilogy so much. It's one of my favorites. I recommended it to so many people, and one of my friends is currently making her way through this book. It is spectacular. It is about a girl called Amy, and she is cryogenically frozen. She wakes up early because someone pulls a plug on her chamber, and then she has to live on the ship that is so completely different than what she was used to before she got frozen. And it's just a story of life on the ship and how they cope. The next book in my top 14 is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, and this is one of my favorite books of all time as well. The movie I didn't like, but I'm going to try watching it again since I read the book and watched the movie in the same day. This book is about Ender, and he has been chosen to defeat the aliens, so he has to go to this space school with all these other kids and do training. This is a very good book. I would definitely recommend it. The 10th book in my pile is Cinder, and this is by Marissa Meyer. This is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. I love this series as well, and I think I like the first book just a bit more than the other ones, but all in all, I love them all. This one is about 16-year-old Cinder, and she is a cyborg. So this is a fairy tale retelling, and as you can tell, she would be Cinderella. I love this retelling of the fairy tales. It's so cool, and there's aliens in it, so it's another like sci-fi type book, and there's also a plague going around killing a ton of people, so there's just so much happening in this series. My 11th book in the pile is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and I really need to reread this book again in 2015. I loved this one. It was just, the images in my head when I read this were amazing. This book is about angels and chimeras. I think that's how you say it. And it's amazing. You don't really know much going into the book, so I won't describe anything that happens. So Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And I picked this up on a whim because I had 3 hours to wait before my boyfriend got off work. So I bought this one, and I'm really glad I did. I have the second one, but I haven't read it yet. This one is about Diana Bishop, and she's a witch, and she calls forth this very important book from the library without realizing it's really important, and then that brings forth a bunch of demons and vampires and other witches. I'm very excited to read the second book in the series. My 13th book is Fang Girl by Rainbow Rowell, and this is one of the first ones I read this year, I think. I just started getting into reading again, and this was one of the first ones I picked up. This one is about a girl called Kath, and she is an introvert, and it's about her experiences in college and not being super close with her twin sister Ren. She has to make other friends, and she meets this boy, and she also writes fan fiction. It's just a really nice book about someone growing into themselves and discovering who they are. I would recommend this book if you like YA contemporary. So the 14th book here is Divergent by Veronica Roth, and this one is getting turned into movies. So the first movie has come out already, the second movie, Insurgent, is coming out soon, I believe. Not sure when. But this one is a very fantastic trilogy. I really enjoyed it. It is about a girl called Triss, and it's very good. So those are my top 14 books of 2014. I just started reading a lot again in 2014, so I didn't have too many books to choose from, but the ones I chose I all really enjoyed. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in 2015.